Yeah, come on in. It's good. SKOL, baby. You know what's up. You know what's up. Let's talk SKOL. Yeah. SKOL territory here. Oh, yeah. Gotta talk SKOL. Where the big dogs at, man? Where the big dogs at? Give it a minute. Let's give it a minute. Big dogs at? Where the big dogs at? Give it a minute. How you doing, man? Arik Young. What up, big dog? All is well, all is good. Let's get it. Appreciate you, big dog. All is good. All is definitely good, man. Let's get to it. So I'm going to just start it off, man. Once again, if you got thoughts and opinions, comments, let me know. Feedback is much appreciated. Heavy, man. Shout out to the big dogs. Arik Young. For sure, what do you think of the Cardinals game and what it could mean for our matchup? Didn't watch the Cardinals game. I know the Cardinals won, right? It was a high-scoring game. You know, Kyler Murray, he's always a problem. And the way the Vikings defense has been playing, he could be cause for concern, right? But the Vikings can pull through. They come up with the right scheme to stop him. They shut him down. They get the victory, one of the keys to victory. But the Cardinals are the Cardinals, right? I think the Vikings should handle them, you know, very well. But Kyler Murray is a weapon. He can scramble. That usually gives the Vikings problems at times, right? We shall see. The Vikings bring their A game, come up with a good scheme, shut him down. Everything else will collapse for the Cardinals. You dig me? Heavy. How you become a Vikes fan? Oh, man. Since 98 when they drafted Randy Moss. Heavy. I watched him at Marshall. They drafted him in 98. SKOL, baby. Heavy. Let's talk about the Viking special teams and Greg Joseph. First off, the Viking special teams has been playing very great, right? That's dope. Enjoy your day, man. Arik Young, much appreciated, big dog. Heavy. You enjoy yours as well. Let's get it. The Viking special teams has been playing great football, right? With the exception of the Bears game, you may say. Ryan Wright is Mr. Wright. Heavy. Clap it up for Ryan Wright, man. He's a great addition to the Vikings. Let's go, man. Shout out Ryan Wright. Heavy. Always remember, if you're in the chat, like it up. It's much appreciated. Now, Ryan Wright has been doing a great job pinning teams deep. You dig me? Backing them up. They're starting their drives at the, 10, 15-yard line. Last week he had, a 70-plus yard punt? Woo! That's a bad man. Oh, yeah, that's a bad man. Special teams has been flying around, playing physical football. Vikings football, right? In tune, in sync. Guys are doing their job consistently, week in, week out. That's how you win. That's how you make the playoff runs and the playoff pushes. See, a lot of people underestimate special teams and the importance of special teams, right? But special teams is very important, whether you like it or not. Special teams is very important, right? You win special teams, you got a big chance of winning the game week in, week out. So you can't forget about special teams, right, and that unit. And they've been doing a great job, phenomenal job for the most part. Matt Daniels, shout out to him. Probably a future head coach in the NFL. I'm sure he will get the opportunity, at least get an interview. You love his energy, his positivity, what he brings to that unit. How he has those guys playing as one, playing reaction football week in, week out. What he always talks about, right? So he's been doing a great job on that staff, changed the whole special teams around. Those guys are playing great football. You got to be happy to see that as a Vikings fan. But we must talk about the elephant in the room, right? Greg Joseph. Now, is he cause for concern? Should the Vikings be worried about him in the future, in big games, in the playoffs, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Now, me personally, training camp, beginning of the season, I thought Greg Joseph would do a good job kicking the football. I thought he would be on that elite level. And he's not super bad. I think he's made all his field goals in the range of, 50 yards. But those 50-yarders, he just can't cut it. Those have been tough for him, right? But we seen something similar last year with Greg Joseph, right? Missing field goals, missing game winners. Then on top of that, this year he's missed some extra points. Last week he could have bit the Vikings late in the game. If Miami would have scored again, right, they would have been up a point. So you wonder if Greg Joseph can, make the big field goals late in the season. Will this continue to be a problem, missing extra points, missing 50-plus yarders? Yes, that's a tough position to put a kicker in, week out. But nowadays, kickers are making those field goals. Look around the league. Kickers are hitting those field goals, 50 yards and plus. So Greg Joseph must contribute and do his job. Sometimes he will have to hit the 50-plus yarders, right? He will have to hit the game winners. You have one job as a kicker. Right. You have one job as a kicker, right? You must do your job. We talk about the team as a whole. All the units must do their job, bottom line. Now, you want to believe in Greg Joseph, right? You want to trust in him. As we get deeper into the season, you want to believe and trust he will make the big-time kicks in the big moments. But what he has shown thus far, you don't know. You must question him. Ryan Wright has been guaranteed spot on the money, right? There's no questioning that guy or questioning his leg. Phenomenal performances by Ryan Wright. Heavy. They made the right decision. But if you're going to be called G Money, coaches are going to hold you to a higher level, put their faith in you, making kicks. He must come through and perform, right? Heavy, that's the bottom line. Special teams has been a strong point for the Vikings, besides Greg Joseph. So that's my opinion on it, man. Could special teams bite the Vikings later in the season? We've seen it before. In the past with the Vikings. Just to name a couple, right? Gary Anderson, Blair Walsh. You dig me? So it's nothing new. But Greg Joseph definitely needs to get it together. Miss extra points cannot be accepted. Easier than a chip shot, right? So that's my opinion on it. Once again, shout out to Ryan Wright and the special teams unit. Shout out to Greg Joseph as well. But he must get it together because he has to play an important role on that team. Bottom line, he's going to have to make some big-time kicks, 50-plus yarders, etc. And they won't always be easy. But he wants to be called G Money. be held to a high standard, right? And he wants the coaches to believe in him, etc., etc. He's going to have to make the big time kicks. And definitely, it's imperative that he doesn't miss extra points. That can't happen, bottom line, especially in close games down the stretch. That will cost the Vikings ultimately in the future against the better teams, right? But once again, shout out to the special teams unit. The special teams coordinator, Matt Daniels, has done a great job with those guys, having them ready week in, week out. And I hope they continue to ball out and perform at a high level. But is it cause for concern with Greg Joseph? Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. It's much appreciated. SKOL territory. Big SKOL here. Let's get to it, man. Oh, me. Oh, me. I ain't got no picture, hear me? SKOL. Like that.